Welcome back. 4 titles, 1 truth. You know who I am. I'm Tommie.
And I'm Lance. And today's episode hits close to home because we're talking about the next generation, our kids.
Yes. So both of us served.
Come on.
Well, one of us
Get
served.
it out. Get it out.
We've served a lot of time in the military. But neither
29
of our kids
and 30.
but neither of our kids decided to follow our paths and serve. And today we're going to unpack why.
Is that a good thing, a missed opportunity, or a sign that we did something right?
Or wrong. Let's
true.
figure it out. All right, first question, right? Did you ever want your kids to follow you into the military?
No, because and reason, it wasn't because I didn't want them to, but coming from in the same situation, a dual military house, they saw both of us serving, and as the time went on and the years went on, we were like, okay, we're at 40 years now. The Taylor family serving, this generation of the Taylor family serving. Oh, now we're at 50 years of the, so it was like, it wasn't something where it was like, oh, you need to do it because it's, the right thing to do.
Yeah,
it's
our legacy is tied to it.
No, we were doing it. So but it was never it was never like, oh, you got to, I want you to do it. You got to do it. This is what we do in our house, because it wasn't something that was pushed on me.
Right.
It was a decision that I made.
Right.
My father gave me the opportunity, and that wasn't until I was getting ready to go to college that it was like, hey, fill out these RO, in which I still didn't know, fully understand what I was filling out and joining.
Like yours is unique, right? Because your dad went to the Air Force Academy and didn't steer you towards the military. And usually people that go to the academy, if nothing else, they at least talk about it at their launching pad and then recommend it. So,
and I think that some of that was just from his experience that he had there, which wasn't so it was like, and he was and he came out of that and was still, went to the civilian side and was successful.
Right.
So it was like, it's not it's a good thing, but it's not a necessary thing, because I think he still brought some of those tangibles, those qualities that he instilled in us, and how he went about his life in general that he got in the military to us, to my house, to family, to so.
Okay. So why or why not did you push it?
Why did I? It never. I guess it never came into. It didn't feel like it was a need, because I looked at it, and I probably did too, because we looked at going to school and going through our ROTC was because we needed to pay for school, for money and stuff.
Necessity.
Yeah. And they had GI 9/11, but they had they because we had gone in, so it's like, oh, you got this to get to school, so you don't have to do ROTC, and maybe if they hadn't had the 9/11 bills to give to them, we might have pushed ROTC or something more. But they were always I could say the one plan for them, or the goal for them, was they were gonna go to school, and they always expressed goal. And they always expressed that, as to what they wanted to, what their interests were, and what they wanted to go into school. Because if they didn't have any, or if they weren't going to go into school, then enlisting was absolutely an option to get them started off, especially after being in and serving and seeing all of the young kids coming up and the opportunities that were there for them, that are, and just seeing the growth that those individuals have. You take it every day. If you're not going to do that, then you need to trade school. If college isn't for you, then we got trade schools out there. You got the military out there that you can go, but you got to grow up somewhere, and you got to find a job. You got to find a skill.
And
you got to find a skill.
Say sports or a singing or acting career, and not to put anything down, but I know, and I know I'm speaking for him, but I know him well enough to know that success was the intention. And so there are certain steps that he felt and I feel that you have to take. And but it all begins with a path, with an idea. So
and it doesn't have to be instant.
Yeah,
It can
absolutely.
be you chip away at it, but you can get to that goal that you want to be at. And understood that. I understand that. It's like stuff that it doesn't have to be lottery winner. Boom, because it's not gonna happen like that. Sometimes that's not good if it happens like that, because you don't get the experience, or you don't appreciate it the way that you should.
Yeah.
Just adds to your story.
Agreed. And also and I'm gonna answer, but I also like the fact that I also like to add the fact that you want to see what your kid's passion is.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it is athletics, then you're going to help them verify that that's their passion, because it takes a lot of work. And same thing.
You want to see that if they're going to do that, that's to be one of those top tier athletes. It's work.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's work and dedication
Talent
that
and
you
work.
have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You got to have talent. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
But you got to be out there doing it.
Yes.
It can't be the part. The talent just can't
happen.
take you to
to the finish line.
Yeah. Now it can get you in school and get you to that point. Yeah, but
so I always envisioned my children going to the military.
So you saw them go. Okay.
I envisioned it. But because I started to realize that the more I was advancing, that the experiences I had, I could absolutely help them. Meaning, I could help steer them into the right job. I could help focus them at every level they were at, because I was touching every level.
Okay.
Right. But I never, ever had a conversation with either one of them.
Okay.
To where it was, you need to join the military, or
This is the next step.
This is where you're going next. I never had that, but I absolutely had it in my holster, to where
it was ready.
if they didn't have a plan, or their plan wasn't coming together, I was very prepared to push.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like you try to give them the opportunity to make the decision before you have to start making decisions for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I will say this, my time in the military was very valuable. I'm very proud of it. But I can sit here and tell you, I honestly know it was hard at some time.
It absolutely was.
And it's not that it's hard because of the fitness. It's not that it's hard because of the time away, which has its own thing, both of them. But it's hard because it's going to challenge you, especially if you're going to stay in for a long time.
Well, you get thrown into a lot of stuff at a younger age or younger part in your life. You're doing some things that your peers aren't doing, that are out in the neighborhood and stuff.
Yes.
It's different level of responsibilities.
It's a different world in the neighborhood. That's for sure.
Yep.
But both Kaylin and Jalen, Kaylin's the daughter, she's older, and then Jalen, they both, Jalen specifically, he was never a fan of the military. A little bit of the reason why is because of it just kept us away from it.
Right.
The full story I would like to get. That I don't have, of why it was such a bad thing in his perspective that he never considered it. Right. And then my daughter, she was on a path. She was intelligent.
Right.
Not being biased, but she is talented, intelligent, capable. And that was something I saw early, right? But and so I never really felt the need to even consider it for her. But I do know there were times after high school and college, and then after college, that there was a little bit of mention of maybe, and then it was always pushing her towards the Air Force.
Okay.
Because
not the Army.
No, and it's not like she couldn't have survived the Army. It's just it's a different mindset.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, you know their personality, and you know
it's a different mindset,
different cultures.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She has a killer attitude, but she don't have their, and the Army, especially for a female, you fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're not fighting in the Air Force. I'm just telling you my experiences. Females are fighting for their life, their military life, competing, trying to stay competitive with your peers, male and female, and then trying to get mentored and coached and developed by a senior leader that actually is going to help you progress on your path. Yeah. And that's different out there. It's just a little hard.
Yeah.
But the reason why I never talked about it is because I didn't see them on that path. And like you mentioned, going to college was the priority.
Right.
That was the first thing that I absolutely felt that they needed to do. And then linked to that was prepping yourself through school so that college is a no.
Yeah. I mean, you want them to have options.
Yes.
You want them to have options. So what conversations did you have with them about service, sacrifice, and military life?
And like I said, I didn't really have those conversations. They witnessed it, once again, with both mother and father serving. It's and to be transparent, my son is my son, and his mother is not Nikki, so it's her stepson, and then Kaylin. We both had children before we met, right? And so, but even Jalen's mother was in the military, so they both had examples of what military life was like. Yeah.
They knew it. It wasn't a secret to them.
And so I never really had a conversation about the military. And then I never really had conversations about my day or stuff like that because, once you get to them, you don't want it to be about the same thing that you were doing. You want to give them time. So you try to buy into what they're doing. But they obviously saw that we were in the service. They obviously saw the sacrifices. If you include the deployments, you include the PCS, which means permanent change of station, meaning that you're changing to another duty station, whether it be overseas. And in my case and in Nikki's case, the kids didn't always come with us.
Okay.
The same with you. Like, for instance, you go to Korea for a short tour, you can't bring your family. So they saw the sacrifice, and they sacrificed because we were in the military. And if nothing else, they have an understanding of military life, and they saw the benefits of it because they were never broke. Their parents always worked, and so forth and so on.
Yep.
So,
not a bad life for them.
Yeah.
It's the same way with me and Audra's kids. Kids. Mackenzie and Miles. So they knew. Yeah. So they grew up. They did the first. After about what Mackenzie did about 6 PCSs, and Miles did about 5, at least 5.
Mackenzie's 2 years older, right?
Yeah, she was. She's 2 years older. So they were living the life that way. Because they were doing the on post daycare. They did all of that stuff. They saw us working. We talked about work. They went through the deployments. They went through the last second deployment. It's like, hey, you got to leave. tomorrow. What? Right. You know, so they saw us digging, you know, military equipment out and packing, you know, packing duffels and things like that. So they, like I said, they lived the military life. They saw, as far as sacrificing, I don't know if they were, I guess by the time we got here probably was when they were like, you know, starting to get like good friends at other places that they were, you know, at because the last duty assignment, just because of some of their age. Yeah, starting to really understand that piece and like, oh, I'm not going to see that person tomorrow or so.
Or ever again.
Yeah. So that piece, they again, we didn't hide anything from. We talked about whatever was going on. They visited jobs. You know, they probably saw where their mom worked more than where I worked, just because of the nature of the work that I was doing.
That's the same, because with his wife and me, they our sets of kids saw what would be called the traditional military, and then with Nikki and Lance, they our sets of kids got to see basically a non-traditional, because Nikki in the beginning was a food inspector, right? And so she was still in conventional type of Army, but her days were completely different than mine growing up in the military. So I would say, specifically from my point of view, that if nothing else, they had a clear example of what military life is and could make an educated decision.
Yeah, they saw it. I mean, and even when we got here, where we tried to get stable for them, we were still moving and stuff. We were still in doing all of the things. So.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you think they saw your career as something to be proud of or something to avoid?
I think something to be proud of. I mean, because they knew what my job was, and they knew that Dad was, I knew I was doing a pretty good job because I was getting promoted like their mom, but Audra had the jobs where, she was working at in D.C., working with the Surgeon General, and I mean, she had all of those different, I'm gonna call them high profile jobs for what she's doing, and because Audra was smart lady, she was getting published, and
she was a smart lady.
No, she's a smart lady. She's smart. No, I say she's a smart lady. She is a smart lady.
She's still holding on.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, she still got it right now.
Okay.
But they I guess saw more of the awards things kind of with her, where they really didn't see a lot of those things with me, and not because I wasn't getting. It's just like hers, where they had the ceremonies, and then it was like, oh, you can bring your what you got. Mine was like, we either didn't have a ceremony for it, or it was just didn't do it. And like I had two. No, I take it back. I had three. Had three. Actual ceremonies. When I got promoted to second lieutenant, but that wasn't huge because it was just my parents, my sister, a cousin down in the ROTC. Yeah, didn't have kids down in the ROTC office. When I got promoted to major, we did that in the little break room. They didn't come to that. They were in a little break room in the hospital. Well, that wasn't even really like a big ceremony. But my last promotion had a big ceremony in at the hospital with the command, all of the things.
Right.
Were they for there? The last one, Miles was, Mackenzie was.
Oh wow.
Mackenzie was on FaceTime.
Okay.
Was on FaceTime for that one, but parents and all that, so they saw that one. It's like, oh shit, this is a big deal,
Right.
Oh my goodness, where they actually see it, Right. So I mean, it's I think that they were proud of us because they understood what we were doing and the importance of what our jobs were, and just knowing, our friends, and again, because kids listen, they understand. As much as you want to try to hide something or try to keep it from them, they know what's going on. They're a lot smarter than what we think, or give them credit for. So I think they understood what was going on, and I think that they were proud of what we did and what we accomplished. I say they were at both of our at Audra's retirement ceremony in D.C., which was with the old guard. Her stuff was outstanding. It was nice. It was outstanding. And then here with mine, mine was outstanding. It was great.
Sure, it was
something to be proud of.
So, do you think they avoided the military, or do you think that it wasn't even a consideration because they had other plans?
I don't think that Mackenzie was considering it.
Okay.
Miles, I think he was on the board on as far as on the fence for it, as far as if he was going to do it or not, because it was like, I don't think I want to do it, and then it was like, maybe I should join our, it was one of those things. So, but I would have never expected Mackenzie to do it, and if she would have, it wouldn't have been in the Army. She would have been really both of them. Miles could have done either one, Army or Air Force.
Right.
I could have saw him doing, but Mackenzie, if she would have done it, I would have saw her doing just the Air Force, just because they're a lot more cerebral about how they're doing stuff, and that's how she thinks and figures out.
It's closer to a civilian job.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they do things. Right. But she never even, it was never in her thoughts to do that.
And so I'll say the same. I would assume, all right, and you know what they say about assumptions, but I would assume that they're aware of what we did, aware of our achievements, but no, I've never had any family at any of my ceremonies, except my promotion ceremonies, except for Sergeant Major.
That's
the only time.
Mine was the first one and the last one where I had family, parents there, and that was the one. My mom got to promote me to Sergeant Major. So, I would absolutely say they see the achievements, and they see, and I feel they have pride in it. I know for a fact Kaylin does. Jalen, I know he's turned off from the military because it kept, us away from him. So I do know that he has an understanding of what we did. So I still feel that he has pride in what we've accomplished, but not enough to understand.
Inspire
just don't
him.
Like it. Yeah, don't like it because it's like it's not.
Him. Yeah, because there are some bad things about the military when it comes to family specifically, and if somebody doesn't understand or doesn't want to try to understand, then there's nothing you can do about that. Taking that away. Do I think they avoided it? I don't think they ran from it as an option. I just think they had another path. They were
that's what I said, because mine had that the 9/11, the GI 9/11 bill, so it was like that.
Set up for them.
And maybe that, and I think about it, and like maybe that was a reason why we didn't push it on, because it's like, oh, we got this money. This is your
Primary
money for college. Here's your money right here for college. So
I get it. I'm the same way.
When it's gone, it's gone. So, but yeah. So what did their decisions teach you about generational shifts and how people view the military?
So that's a two-part question. The decision for them not to go into the military, I just think that over the years, the military used to be like a primary choice for your career. And I think that with the evolution of Americans and the evolution of slow or not of equality, we're talking gender and race, I think with those positive improvements to that, I think that the military has consistently fallen down as options for civilians, young civilians, because everybody teaches. You go to school to get to school, right? You go to 12th grade and below to prep yourself and set yourself up so that you can go to college. That is the path. And I think more and more people are choosing that path.
Right.
Like when I was in school, there was a lot of people that went to the trade path in school. There was, of course, the athletes. You had the drama. So there are other people there were a bunch of kids that had dreams, but the overall end state was my generation was to go to school.
Right. I mean, education. I mean, that's all. I mean, I tell you in the black community, I'm not speaking for everybody, but for the most part, it's like educate. You got to get educated to get out of.
It goes from you're going to college to you better find something to do.
Yeah, I mean,
I need you to get up out of here.
And the army, the service was a way to get money, to acquire money in order to pay for that. Yeah. And like you're saying, as the equality and all of those things, to start opening up more doors for folks to get money and to get into schools and get different scholarships for different things that I'm sure it probably fell off, and then then when you don't have other folks that look like you or whatever that are promoting it as hey, I see such and such did it, why I should go be able to go do that, then it's like, well, I'm not going to do it if you don't know anything. If you don't know anything about it, and it's like, why would I take the chance? Because I know that in high school, my graduating class, I know that myself and another one of my friends, good friends, Alvin Doss, another black guy, we had our ROTC scholarships. He went to the Air Force. I went to the Army, but other than that, wasn't anybody that knew that took advantage, because those scholarships were there for folks to fill out. But we were the two that did it. And I think I can't remember how many. I think Alvin he got out of it when he was a captain. But I mean, it's just, if you don't know about it, nobody's talking to you about it, then it's
what you see. Yeah, what you see, what you have the ability to witness as a kid is where your imagination can lead you. Mm-hmm. And back to what you're saying, like I wasn't aware how many people joined the military, because I didn't join right out of the high school. I went a year later, but I ran into a classmate in South Korea. And he was a full bird, and he ended up doing 30, and then I did 30. So, and he's in San Antonio now. His name's Steve Adams.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was it's very unique for someone to make it to 30 years, no matter what rank level you are. So it's rare to run into someone that's your age, your timeline, that did it. And didn't know anything about that service until I ran into him in Korea. It's the same thing.
That's what I say, especially if you grew up in an area that's not really have a big military base or anything like that, or a big military influence.
Agreed.
Because it's just like, nah, I'm not doing that. Nah, I'm going to work for
Middletown, Ohio ain't got none of that. But I will say how people view the military now, I think it's, like I mentioned before, it's the option of going into the military. Now it's more like, I don't mean to say this in a negative way, but it's like a last option. Mm. You know what I'm saying? There's in kids' minds, I believe, and even my generation, from my perspective, military was not first in most people's minds in my generation. And once again, I think you can relate it back to the legacies. You know, like if your father served, then I think it's a higher priority or a higher option for you versus regularly, right? Versus someone who has no contact or lineage there.
Yeah, I mean, and I think too that the war, like when you look back where you see all of the movies being made about all of the World War IIs and all, you know, that's like all of the pride and the working and the coming together, and then you start going through the Korea and Vietnam and people protesting those because of they're looking at it as a political thing, why they're going and why are they fighting these people that don't have anything and supporting people that do. You know, so then you get with us and it was what the oil. So why are we going over there fighting for oil and y'all are just securing these people's wealth and not.
It just shows you how far it's fallen from the point of view of society.
Yep. So people are not going to encourage their kids to go in when they look and see, oh man, all these kids. Which, I mean, the amount of folks that lost their lives in these last few are small compared to these. I mean, it's just like, oh my goodness.
Who we were fighting. Yeah, so you know, I was the first lifer in the military in my family. I've had, like I said, I had an uncle that was in the Marines, and I give credit to him for setting me up because when I made the decision to go, I was able to talk to him. And even though he was a Marine, he gave me his point of view.
Okay.
And that point of view helped me take it more seriously in the beginning.
Okay.
Right. And that kept me grounded while I was going through.
I mean, my grandfather, well, both because I think my mom's dad served. My grandfather, my father's dad was, he was one of the first Black Marines that served. My uncle Ed, he served. My father.
Ed.
I mean, they didn't retire, but they they went in. You know, they went checked that. Yeah, I had a cousin, Uncle Robert. My Uncle Robert served. Cousin.
And you were aware of their service coming up? Okay.
I mean, I knew it because I would see pictures over at my grandmother's house of my Uncle Ed I think he did something with police dogs. Yeah. I think he might have been an MP or something because I remember seeing the German Shepherds or the whatever they call it, the little the dogs.
Right.
Yeah. Seeing with those things and some different, see pictures that way.
Right.
Never recall or hearing them talk about it, about their time that they served. And I never even asked them about, the time that they served in it, served and stuff, because it was just, wasn't something that came up. And I don't know if it was because the amount of time they spent that it was one of those things where it's like, okay, that's a blip and we just keep it moving, or how important it was for them, or just to say, okay, yep, they did it. But whereas opposed to, I'm going to talk about it because that was what I've been doing for the last
whatever.
Yeah.
No, I got you.
Yep.
All right. So let me ask you this. If your child came to you today, either one of them, and said, I'm thinking of enlisting, how would you respond to them?
Well, first I'd ask them to say, okay, you want to enlist or you want to try to see if you can get a direct commission?
Right.
So depending on what they're, like both of them now, I would try to get them to probably get a direct commission before enlisting. Because it's like, look, you have education, you have all of this stuff where you might be able to start off at least ahead trying to financially make some money, because the retirements are not the same of what we have now. So it's
annual pay.
Yeah, so it's not the same. So you need to try to start off at a place that's going to be better than where you are now, because it doesn't make any sense for you to go do this if you're not gonna and it's just like it's the what's the plan. That's the thing I would ask, like, what's the plan? You're going in to do what's the goal? You know, what do you want? What are you trying to gain from this, or what are you trying to get from this?
Right.
And if it makes sense, and it's like, okay, you know, because it's one of those things where it's like I wish I wish my son would have done it. I wish he would have done the ROTC back when he was in school, because I think he would have enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I think it would have helped to bring out some of his qualities that folks really don't see until they sit down and talk to him for a little bit. You know, as opposed to
he doesn't have that confidence that brings it out.
I don't think not that initial where it's like, I think he has to feel comfortable with you, and then he'll get into. I mean, then it'll show like he's intelligent. He can debate. I mean, he knows. I mean,
he's
he
funny.
reads. He's
which when I first met him, I didn't know he's funny because he did absolutely. My point of view on your son is absolutely that his personality does not come out until he's comfortable enough to let you see it.
Yeah. So I think that would have helped him be able to be able to put that on display when he needed to, or wanted, that piece that I don't think the kids or the generation now gets, and it's because they got everything, got them handhelds,
Solo,
you got your
individual,
everything. I mean, you got the video game, you got all of those things that we had to do this
solitary,
where we're talking to talking to people, or if you want to get noticed or picked or what, you had to be like, here I am right here, that type of thing where
you had to go out and show.
Yeah, so I mean, and I think that if him going through that training and the things that you do in the military would have helped him helped him out a little more. He's still a good kid. He still gets it out, but it's just like it's a delay in for people to actually, it's like, okay, that joker is.
That's what I was going to say. Would have sped up the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm right on board with you. First, before I completely answer, would you see it as a negative? Honestly,
them going in,
where if they came to you today and made that comment or told you that they were considering,
I would, yes, absolutely, okay. Because they're
why
they have their jobs with benefits now. They have their jobs that are doing their 401k stuff now. They have their other annuities and things that they're putting into now, and it almost be like for almost starting over for her for what her degree and stuff is, and it's like, you should have done this, because you would be captain. You would be a mid captain at least, getting ready to do in your specialty of what you went to school for.
Right.
So I think like now it's just like, okay, now it's just building on what you're currently doing, especially for the girl child is okay. Now you need to just get for her, and take that back. The military would have done wonders for her as far as giving her some confidence as far as being in charge of folks, the leadership part, because she knows all of the stuff, she knows what she's doing, but she gets comfortable and she doesn't want to go on to which we're sitting there like, dude, you can do this. You have all of the.
I can relate.
The tools and the people around that you can like call Terrence, call Kelsey, call Tommie, call all of the people that have served and done, that if you have any type of leadership, somebody ran into it or somebody
that
did
hunger.
It. So it's that piece where it's like you want it for them, but you can't. Sit there. You can't do it. You can't want it more than them.
It's still up to them.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I think that probably, even if she would have just done a short little stint, just done
just a quick tour.
A quick tour. She would have done a tour. That would have helped her. I mean, but she gonna get no problem. She ain't got no choice but to get it at some point, and she's gonna have to, just because you want to progress, you want to make more money, you're going to have to start looking at those jobs to be in charge of people, and not shy away from it, not be afraid of it. So
that leads me back to my answer. Absolutely. I'd look at it as a step backwards. If they made the decision now to go into the military, because they're already out in the world, they've already gone through school, gotten their degrees, and they've started their life, and now you want to go into the military, and you're going to go from being somebody, you're going to get back down to being nobody, and then you have to build yourself back up. And not a lot of people have that energy or that capability to start all over,
right,
especially as a young adult. Most people, when they're aged a little bit, I'm talking about post undergrad, you are, if you decide to come into the military, it's a step up, or if nothing else, a lateral step. And so.
But you got to plan. I mean, if you're coming in at a later, I saw folks that were coming in at a later age. They had a plan.
Yes.
Coming in, and
because their initial plan was failing, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, and they were more. The ones that I dealt with were more professional. Yeah, they were a more professional soldier, because they were more mature. Yeah. They weren't dealing with it, wasn't doing any of the bullshit or anything like that. It was straight, here, this is my job. This is what I got to do.
It wasn't a leap for them. It was a step.
Yes.
It was a planned step.
Yep.
I agree with that. And so, but I would also ask them what are their expectations from the military, because that would help me figure out, should you go enlisted or should you become an officer?
Right.
Because, like Lance said, the money is absolutely different when beginning phase of officer and beginning phase of enlisted. But there are advantages to having a degree in enlisting, because depending on what time and what the Army policies are, you could step into a Army career as a specialist if you have a bachelor, instead of starting at an E4 instead of starting at an E1. And if you are, like we said, mature and focused because you made this choice with a plan, it could speed up your promotions down the line.
Yep. Well, then you can do the green to gold programs and stuff like that. Yeah. So I mean, there are advantages, but again, exactly what we were saying. You got to have a plan. Yes. You got to know what And
I'd ask where their mind is, and because, like I said, when you go to basic training, we are trying immediately to break down everything that you've learned, because now you need to learn the Army way. And if I don't think you can handle that, I'm not going to say go to basic, because basic's going to beat you up, specifically if you're not mentally ready for it.
Right.
So that's the path I'd take. But I do know that I would see it as a step backwards for them because of where they are now in life, 31 and 25. But I absolutely would not see it as a negative if they had a plan.
Right. I mean, if it was something that they just wanted to do, then be like, okay. I mean, but I'm gonna give them the pros and the cons and give them a good informed
because they're adults
decision.
now.
Absolutely.
It's your
That's
decision.
right. Yep. Absolutely.
All I can say is, ABC. Right. Yeah. So I just know that my goal as a father was to make sure that I gave my children options. And I'm confident that that's what I did, because I knew I wanted them to start at a better position than I did.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't need them to wear the uniform to carry on our traditions or carry on the values that we fought for and served for, and so.
And I'm no less proud of them, whether they served or not. It didn't matter. I just wanted them to be successful. And whether your kids followed your path or not, or whether they blazed their own, only one thing matters. They're making their path towards success and standing strong. So do me a favor, leave us a comment on a topic you would like for us to discuss, or let us know your thoughts about any episode we talked about. All thoughts negative or positive or welcome.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. So follow us on Instagram and watch our episodes on our YouTube channel at 4 Titles, 1 Truth. Let's keep the conversation going, y'all.
There you go. All right. Holla.
Peace.